Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So our conversation right now, I asked what we're going to talk about, and what I heard is everything divinely aligning. So there are things that are being allowed to happen. These are things that are beneficial for you. I don't know if it feels beneficial right now, but it's definitely intended to be beneficial. And it's up to you how you're going to travel through this. Give me 1 second. I need to launch Tiki Tac so that I can see the comments. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. So everything divinely aligning. That's a good thing. I would say that's a good thing. Divine alignment, but it doesn't always get experienced as though it's the good thing that it is. So kind of just keep that in mind. Okay. Hi, Monica. All right. Today has been productive. Oh, I'm going to be going live later this evening to do expedites. I did not add that over here. Give me a moment. Oh, here. Past life. Tea party. Okay. If you are on TikTok, simply go to the link. Hi, Melly Mel. Simply go to the link in my bio, click on the Hubi link, and then you'll see at the very top the Past Life Tea Party. For those on all other platforms, simply click on the QR code or the link in the comments, and it'll take you exactly where you need to go. So I need to hurry up because I have sessions, is why. Trying to fit everything in today. Okay. And the final deck. Here goes, guys. Here goes. Oh, actually, is that the right link? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Here. Ooh, okay. Okay. Interesting. So, union, you're definitely needing to allow yourselves to connect with the things and the people that you need connection with. I think that there might be a lot of fear because of how you've been burned in the past. Maybe you have a history of people, I don't know, using you or whatever it is. And so you're very, very hesitant. You're hesitant to allow the connections. You're hesitant to allow yourself to experience vulnerability. I don't blame you, y'all. I don't blame you at all. But if you want the struggle to lessen, to decrease, you're going to need to have that connection with whoever it is you need to be connected to. This is not a sign that you need to go back with an ex. Like, no. I have this theory that an ex is an ex for a reason, and just once you walk away, stay away. That's just the theory that I have. I mean, you guys broke up for a reason, especially if you didn't break up like amicably, where, you just realize you guys grew apart, and that's just that. And, there was never any drama. It's just that you grew apart. That's one thing. But if you guys broke up and like, oh, you were so brokenhearted, you can't believe what happened and all of this other stuff, like, why go back to that? Why would you want to revisit that? That includes friendships. If your friend was not a friend to begin with, then, what is it? Give me 1 second, guys. I just have to go ahead and screenshot more evidence. 1 second. So if you're allowing certain things, oops, then what needs to happen is you need to allow yourself to recognize how what you allow is leading to more drama, right? More drama. So, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? You need to not allow. You need to not allow yourself to be distracted. You need to not allow yourself to enter into some space where um, things that don't deserve your attention and time, uh, they need to be just completely removed. Just remove it. Remove it. There's no point in wasting more time and more energy. This is a wonderful opportunity that you're being given, right? This is a very, very wonderful opportunity that you're being given. And what you do with this opportunity is very much up to you. Now, hold on one second. I just have to change the setting, which documentation. I'm a documentation queen. Documenting the degree of disruption and all of that. So, alchemist in reverse. There's nothing you need to alchemically change about yourself. You're calibrated for this period, specifically calibrated for this period that you've entered into and the different potentialities that are heading your way. It's important for you to be aware that this period is for you. No more of that thought of like, oh, I can only allow myself to receive this so everyone can benefit. If you allow yourself to heal, if you allow yourself to receive by virtue of your expansion of your awareness of your worth, you are already benefiting other people. Case in point, for much of my life, I've lived in a state of shame and guilt, ashamed of who I am and how different I am, and feeling guilty that I haven't done enough for other people, regardless of how much I do. And because of those feelings of shame and guilt, I hid myself. And I continued to hide myself, right? I continued to hide myself. I continued to allow myself to enter into various states of self denial, various states of this. What was that going to do? What was that going to do for me? What did that do for me? Did it do anything for me? Or did it simply allow me to better hide myself? Did it allow me to better deny what my actual purpose is? If you are strictly just denying what your purpose is, then why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? For what? Because you think it will make people feel more comfortable? Although this is my norm and I don't see the big deal about anything that I do you understand how many people I've helped just by being myself? I don't say this from a space of ego where it's like, I help people. Do you understand how special I am? No, me helping people should be the norm. It does not elevate me. It's like, guys, we should help each other. We should help each other. We should allow each other to feel so free and so safe that everyone can just be who they are. Do you know what a gift that is? I think the greatest gift that I can ever give someone is to allow them to feel so safe in my presence that they can now be who they are. They can allow themselves to come forward, to be witnessed, to share of themselves. It's like huge. It's a huge thing. I don't even want to imagine what the world would be like as I experience it if I had not allowed myself to step out of my shell. It's like more and more I am embracing the reality that I'm not a bad person. I've never been a bad person. Anyone who's known me for any length of time, I don't fuck people over. I don't screw people over for what? I don't use people. I don't manipulate people. We either get along or we don't. And that's that. It's, that's just that. We either get along or we don't. Sometimes we need a little more time to get to know people. Other times it's like you just know right from the start, like, no, this is not compatible with who I am. This is not in alignment with what I need. Everything that's aligning right now, it's for your benefit. It is something that's being allowed so that you can what? So that you can be comfortable being who you are. And in being who you are providing a gift, not just to yourself, but to everyone whose path you cross. That is the gift that you give freely. This concept that if you have gifts, you're supposed to give it away for free. You're not supposed to be compensated for anything. The gift that you give away for free is you existing as you are. That's it. For many of us, we've lost sight of this. At our foundation, we don't know how much we deserve, how much reciprocity we forego just to remain within that societal norm that prevents you from truly living your actual destined purpose and path. And when you do that, when you disregard your actual needs and the guidance from soul, your passion goes upside down. It becomes something that is very, very just disruptive within the self. You get so irritated. You get so agitated. You can't function in the way you're supposed to function. And that creates resentment, animosity. And then suddenly you're taking this in as though this is your full identity, and it's not. It is your natural, normal, appropriate reaction to the denial of self, denial of your needs, denial of your purpose and your path. It's really hard to shake me from my space of center. Why? Because I'm living my purpose so deeply at this point. It's hard to get me off center and remain off center. I realize I'm the only one that can move myself from that space of centered. It's a beautiful thing to begin to realize how powerful I am over myself and my journey. Myself and my journey. That's all I can control. Sometimes not even that. And I laugh because guess what? The more you step into your power, the less you exist in that fear and the less you have to control. Thank you. Thank you. Realization. I needed a component to connect the different types of to connect the different types of thing. I'm building a case and I was just given that component. It's like this aha moment of realization that part of the reasoning is once I drop this megaton payload of Plateau, it's gonna be powerful. I don't have to be disrupted within myself. I don't have to be moved from center. For those who are on TikTok and all other platforms, actually, outside of YouTube, you didn't get to see that someone, a specific someone, was trying to be disruptive and get attention. The ultimate demonic pick me. Yeah, there's nothing there that really needs to be acknowledged outside of using it as a speaking point, allowing the failed attempts of others to serve you in your understanding of your tremendous power over yourself, the things that are aligning with you or the things that are in your benefit. And it might not look like it, but I promise you, it always will work in your favor. Always. Everything is being lined up by soul to give you everything you want, everything you need. Be patient. Everything is very carefully calculated and calibrated by your soul. There is nothing you can rush, nothing you can delay without the approval of your soul. Yes, we're having a past life tea party tonight. If you guys would like to purchase expedites, sorry, I was supposed to go live earlier, but quite a few different things, had to be taken care of. So past life party expedites, you can get that right there on the screen. Click on the QR code on the screen or the link in the comments. For those on TikTok, you simply go to the link in my bio, click on the Hubi link. It's the very first image on top. So summer, there's this attempt to bring your summer upside down. No. The only time I allow something to go upside down is if I need traction. Ooh, you guys ever have traction done to you? Traction is when two opposing forces are pulling. One side is simply remaining still while the other side is kind of pulling a little bit. And it creates the space to allow the misalignments to pop back into place. You feel like you're being pulled apart. Are you being pulled apart, or is this traction therapy? I love to see things in the clarity of what it actually is. You can see it in that distorted state, right? It's this distorted state where you see it as a punishment, a negative. I see it for the reality of what it is. For example, I go to this bomb ass chiropractor. He's like a sports medicine enthusiast and chiropractor. I don't know if he has a degree in sports medicine, but that you could tell he's just extremely proficient in what he does. And I had something that was bothering my knee, and the alignment was off. And that puts me at risk for injury because I have Ehlers-Danlos. And he was able to rule out that it's not the joint. First, he did some manual traction, and it was not the knee joint. There was an issue with the ankle joint below the knee. That was corrected, and he reassessed the knee. And he's like, oh, it's a muscular issue. And yeah, of course, because when that muscle is tight, it's what's pulling my knee out of the socket. And so what he does, he gets this massage gun, and it's percussion therapy. It's like bam, 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 bam real fast. And he was using some pressure. He was pressing pretty hard. And he just, I could see it as he beat the shit out of my leg. He beat the shit out of my tibia, my tibialis. Or I could see it as, damn, he beat that into submission. He got it to release. And now I'm at less risk of injury. I just have to allow it to rehab. I have to allow the stretching to do what it needs to do. And the stretching wasn't working because it was so tight. Are you wound so tight because of your expectations not being met? And now you're feeling like you're a failure. You're feeling like you're behind. Are you? Do you even know the timeline of your life? You can think you know, but you don't. Your soul knows. So if you don't know, how are you going to start assuming that you failed and you're behind? How are you going to do that? And many of us do that. That's what has you so wound up, so tight. Your expectations about specific deadlines and timeframes and details were not met. Okay, well, maybe it's going to take longer than what you expected. Soul be the biggest troll sometimes because it'll be like soon, soon. Soul has no concept of time, you guys. It doesn't. Soul can sometimes think that soon is 5 years, 3 years. Hmm. Soul has no concept of human time. So soon can mean anything. It can mean anything. You have to make sure that your expectation aligns with the reality of what your soul is presenting you, because it's giving you ideas of the time frame you're working with. It's giving you guidance that maybe you're receiving, maybe you're thinking it's a coincidence. It's, oh, I don't know, serendipity. That's a beautiful poetic concept, but I believe that everything happens exactly as it should in the time frame that it should. And whether you understand it or not, it will happen exactly as it must for your greatest good. What does that mean? Even the ugly parts have a proper place in your development, right? I love to use the concept of body work and fitness, personal training, physical fitness. I love to use those things as analogies. So I had a spinal injury, and it was a significant one. Didn't need surgery, but I needed to rehab it. And I needed to strengthen the muscles that atrophied because of the injury. I needed to remain still in order to prevent further injury. So in that, I had a muscle imbalance. With my knowledge of human anatomy, my knowledge of personal training, muscles, um, train chains, fascia, all of that is just stuff that I know. I mean, I could help someone figure out how to correct that issue within a few weeks. Within a few weeks. Tell me why it took me 2 fucking years. 2 years. That's the proper time frame. Why? Because that injury occurred to release specific somatic injuries. These are emotional injuries that have been stored in certain parts of my body through the fascia. It needed to be released. I fought the release. And so what happened? My muscle overreacted and torqued my spine. And rather than allowing myself to heal and trusting in my ability to heal myself, um, I overreacted out of fear. I immobilized myself for far too long. It atrophied the muscles that I could have simply just released and reactivated. I messed it up so bad with my reaction, my overreaction to the injury and the pain and the fear of the return of memories past, that my mind muscle connection was severed. I still cannot fully spread my lat. Once I do, though, I'm gonna have one fucking lat spread. Sexy as hell. Yeah, no, nothing. It's nothing. Right now, it's nothing. It's still stuck. And when I allow myself to really immerse myself in that space of alignment between what my soul says and allowing my fear to simply bring my attention to what I need to pay attention to, it releases. And boy, big back, not in the negative way. I can see the potential that lives in me already. I just have to allow the process and be patient. And so now I'm allowing that. I'm listening to the body as I do the movement. And what does the body tell me? It tells me the ways and the places in which I still hold resistance to a spiritual process that fills me with discomfort and sometimes even fear. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a notification system that helps the human aspect of your consciousness become aware of the specific parts that you need to do something about because you're in danger. No, because you're being asked to be present and be proactive. This alignment that occurs, it occurs because you allow it, you make room for it, and you welcome it in. Everything that your soul is going to give you, you've already been put through something to make you worthy of what you will receive. So stop with this nonsense of, I'm not worthy enough. If your soul is giving it to you, that means it is time because you've done the work. You have two types of people who are on a spiritual journey and are aware of it. The one type is a type that consistently, I've done the work. Okay, but why haven't you grown? I've done the work. I faced my shadow. Shadow work. You know, shadow work is really not even a thing. Shadow work is the primer for the real work, which is what? Do you guys know? Sitting in the stillness to be able to see the mirror, to be able to look yourself in the eye and see who you actually are. Shadow work? That's the work of children, afraid of the boogeyman in their closet and under their bed. Shadow work is an illusion. It simply prepares you by what? By having you face things that you're afraid of and realizing nothing's happening to you. Nothing bad is happening to you. But that's not the actual work that needs to be done. How do you know what you need to do to empower yourself, to heal yourself, if you can't even look at yourself? You are so averse to seeing the reality of who you are that you would rather stare in the abyss of shadows with these perceived monsters waiting to destroy you than to just simply take a look at yourself. Take a look at yourself. If you're looking for ugly, you will find ugly. If what you seek is the beauty, you will find beauty in anything you see. What are you seeing? Because what you see is telling you exactly what you're seeking. Are you seeing things to be afraid of? Because you're afraid and you're looking for things to validate your fear. Stop. Because whatever you look for is the only thing you will find. But Emmy, I'm not brave like you. What does that even mean? Because what? I'm like what, a badass or something. Far from that. I am not a badass. What I am is a person going through the process of losing my aversion that I feel towards myself. I now see the beauty of who and what I am in this physical form. I am coming to a deepened and ripening awareness that I am unable to see myself in the clarity I deserve. And I have body dysmorphia. I've had that for most of my life. Even when I was like a size 0, I thought I was like, oh, big. Like, suck shit up. Girl, you know you're like 90 pounds, right? I mean, I can claw real good. Yeah. I don't see myself clearly. And now, rather than being upset and angry and fighting with myself because I'm honest with myself about how I'm unable to see myself with clarity, I'm just like, I look big today. So yesterday we were at the gym and we're walking up to the gym. And of course, we can see our reflection in the door. And I'm like, ooh, my thickness is coming back because I have a lot of muscle, right? I lost a lot of it when I was injured. And my husband goes, and I was like, say my legs are thick. And he goes, they're kind of, I said, say my legs are thick. They're not. They're not. I mean, I could still stomp the shit out of something. I can still leg press quite a heavy fucking load, but they're not as thick as they were. That's okay. That's okay. Because no matter how big I can grow my legs, I can surpass that. There's no limits. I don't need to focus on what an end result is. I need to focus on being present through the process, because what you're learning while you're in the middle of this alignment that's trying to take place, while you're in the process, living the process, is much more important than the end result. It's much more important than the end result. You're so much more than the end result that you're trying to produce. Self-worth. Fragment in reverse. This is telling me your worth is based right now on this broken perception of yourself. Okay, let's get that back together first. Let's bring your parts home. Let's get you feeling whole, right? Let's get you feeling like yourself again. And then you can take it from there. You can begin adding, right? Adding what it is you need, adding the truth of the reality of you. And that's it. Just adding, so we teach our children. And I was having a conversation with one of my children, and I was like, it's not about getting the right answer. It's about mastering the process, understanding how you get to that answer, needing everything aligned, because we're doing long multiplication for one of the kids right now. You have to align all of the placements, or else you will think this thing belongs with this thing and you'll get the end result that is not correct for what you're doing. It's about allowing yourself to be present and understanding this is a process. You're not expected to know everything. Your rigidity of your expectations of yourself, it's no longer appropriate. You outgrew that as a child. Yeah, it didn't even work for you as a child, to be honest. I think for many of us, we're very unhappy because the environment we existed in as a child was so rigid, and it made us feel so unworthy, so outside of the box and hard to deal with, a pain in the ass and an absolute just like nightmare to be around. Is that the reality of it? Because who I am right now, see how I'm focused? See how I'm speaking clearly and passionately? That's me as a child. Could you imagine raising that? Could you imagine raising that and not having the intelligence to be able to rationalize that child into a space of compliance? That's frustrating. That's frustrating. And you can't threaten me either, because that's not going to work. I'm not afraid of threats. You tell me you're going to spank me, I'll say, go ahead. Not in defiance, just like, go ahead. All that tells me is my logic has exceeded yours, and now you're resorting to physical aggression to dominate me, and I will not allow you to dominate me. You can do what you want to my body, but you will never affect my mind, not without my consent. Do you understand your power? Was that how you were as a child? Were you a pain in the ass to the adults in your environment who didn't know any better? And so you've internalized these erroneous labels there's this person that I once knew. We're no longer in contact, and they have an adult child who were very much alike. Like, for a period, I referred to her as my sister. My driver's license even kind of looks like her. Like, we don't look the same, but we make the same mannerisms, facial expressions, all of that. And I remember, like, I was talking to one of the parents, because the parents were my friends. And I was telling one of the parents, like, do you not see what's happening here? She doesn't just act up. Something is being done to her. Do you not know her? She doesn't just do things. You have to push and push and push before she reacts. And by the time she reacts, you fucking deserve whatever reaction she's giving, because you earned that. And this poor person has a label of defiant disorder, some disorder, oppositional defiance disorder or something. I was like, no, y'all are just trying to fucking force her to do things that are not in alignment with her soul. Try talking to her. She's highly intelligent, highly compassionate. She's also Piscean like me. We're like so similar. We're so similar. She'll make excuses and excuses and excuses until she can't take anymore. And then when you push her over the edge, yes, she's going to be reactive. Yes, she's going to be very strong in her refusal. Whose fault is that, though? She gave you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to be civilized in your communication and interaction. At some point, she needs to defend herself. So is she a bad person? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just because your environment couldn't see the gravity of you does not mean their labeling of you is accurate. I think it actually proves the opposite. So these things that you've hidden, these are parts of you, your strengths that you've been unfortunately conditioned to be ashamed of. There's a time and a place for every aspect of your character. There is a time and a place for every aspect of your character. I have the ability to be highly combative and highly aggressive in my communication and response. I'm capable of that. Should I be that for every interaction? No, that's not necessary. Sometimes quietly holding your ground, speaking in a normal tone is much more powerful than elevating your voice. There's this saying that I've heard in the past: don't raise your voice, elevate your communication. It's not about who can be the loudest. It's about commanding your own energy and space. The alignment that's taking place, it's giving you the opportunity to command your energy and your potentiality. These things that try and get in the way of what it is you're building, which I think for many of us, we don't even know what we're building, they're not going to be successful. And you need to drop your loyalty. It's loyalty in reverse, right? You need to let go of your loyalty to the things of the past that keep you looped in the same patterns. I had a conversation with myself this morning as I was rushing out of the shower. If you continue, you have to know what you're doing. And it's this thing of, well, what am I doing? What is my goal? Do I need to know that to know which direction to go? Or can I simply allow myself to trust my soul? Well, I have trust issues. So most things I will only allow myself to trust my soul to a certain extent. So then I was standing there looking at myself in the mirror. And first I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm running late. I'm running late. And then I took a deep breath and I asked myself to focus on what my soul was actually trying to communicate, because I knew it wasn't that part of the conversation. And it was this thing of, if you can allow yourself to revisit your past and learn the things that that history was intending to teach you, you can then directly and beneficially affect your future by simply implementing what you've already learned, but up until now refused to see, acknowledge, and accept. And I was like, oh, so it's not a message of repeating the same mistakes. None of those were mistakes. All of those were opportunities to learn and ripen your awareness of what you've learned. It's not enough to just learn. You have to know when to apply what you've learned. My certification program, perfect example. All of the tests and the quizzes and the final exam, open book, open notes, open video, open internet, whatever you need to do. I don't ask any of my students to memorize a single thing, and I tell them that repeatedly. You don't have to memorize any of this. You have to understand the concept, but you don't have to memorize any of it. Why? Because the program is a mastery-based program. What does that mean? That means I don't care if you can regurgitate the information. I care about you knowing what part of that information applies to the circumstance at hand, and how will you apply it to what depth, and what expectation of end results do you have? And what's the probability of you being able to produce that? And you're going to do all of this naturally. How? By looking at your client's needs, assessing that accurately, and then taking a moment to actually decide what's the best approach for this. How deep can this person go during this session? Can I achieve it all in this moment? Or is this something that is simply complex? Meaning it appears simple at the surface, but it's something very, very complex. Very, very complex. You can address it, but there's layers and levels to it. Layers and levels and layers and levels, right? It's about mastery. You don't need to memorize anyone's teachings. What you need to do is understand what those teachings are communicating to you, so that you can begin to decide what parts of those teachings can be applied to what portion of your life, and the way you will apply it. Dominance, believing in yourself. You need to believe in yourself. Far too many times I see people, especially within the spiritual community, waiting for someone else to tell you what to do, what to think, how to move. How does that serve you? It doesn't. So why do you do it? Probably because you're afraid. It's okay to admit that you're afraid. And once you admit that you're afraid, you can begin to ask yourself, well, what is it that's actually making me feel afraid? It's not the situation at hand. It's something that the situation is triggering. It's triggering a remembrance of something that happened in your past. And the fear is bringing your attention to that. And that's it. You're not afraid because you're incapable. You're afraid because you're questioning your ability and willingness to witness the actuality of what you can achieve. Let that sink in. You're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of seeing yourself succeed. Why? I think the answer is the same for many of us. I think the answer is that for many of us, someone from our history as a child, maybe, most likely, helped to install a program that makes us feel as though if we don't have permission from someone to succeed, then we're not allowed to, then it's impossible. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I've been working out pretty much since I was a teen. I've been very much into fitness and whatnot. The younger you are, scientifically speaking, the more able you are to build muscle, experience hypertrophy at an accelerated rate. You have to know a few things, of course, and apply those things appropriately. And you can build muscle very quickly. Once you begin hitting a certain age, and for some people, it usually begins in like their mid 40s, your body goes through these changes that cause you to begin losing muscle mass, a specific percentage. Every year, you will lose more and more muscle mass. So I'm hitting that mark. Yet I'm capable of building more muscle now at the age that I'm at than I ever was in my 20s. I've never been this strong in my life. I can deadlift over 300 pounds. I can leg press over 900. I can squat 300 something pounds. Never been able to do that in my 20s. Why? Because I finally live within my existence. I finally give myself permission to exist inside my body. I'm no longer ashamed of me. I'm simply accepting myself. This is where I'm at. There's so much more I can do. I don't know how much more. I'm excited to see. I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to listen. When I need to slow down, I will slow down. When I can push, I will push. I will not allow myself to willingly be injured because of ego. No, absolutely not. It's such a beautiful, beautiful space to exist in. I look back in my 20s and I'm like, oh, I wish I realized this in my 20s. Oh my goodness. I couldn't though. Why? I was so busy, so deeply believing the limitations that other people tried to convince me applied to me when they didn't. Those labels and limits, they didn't apply to me. And now things are aligning inside me. And my comfort with being who I am, it's increasing. As that increases, my potentiality increases and expands. And I believe this is a process that can be true for everyone at any age. There are those badasses who begin bodybuilding in their 70s, in their 80s. I've seen gymnasts who are 90. I'm like, get it, girl. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The only limits that exist are the ones that you believe in and the ones that you allow, right? And sometimes the things that seem like, oh, well, that was a dead end, that was a brick wall, that was a failure, that was a waste of time. No, I think your soul was helping you to kind of recalibrate. So I went and I took my kids to a Krav Maga class, and they liked it. It was lovely. And we were going to move forward with it, and we were going to commit. I told my kids, like, once I sign you up, you have to commit to it for at least a year. And you're going to be going to all the classes. We're not missing nothing. And then after that year period is up, then you can decide if you want to continue it. Right. And something caused me to hesitate. And I was even talking to my husband, like, I don't know why. I don't know if I'm tripping or what, but something's making me hesitate. And then I came across something the other day where, for some reason, Soul showed me this other organization that teaches, and they teach specifically Krav Maga, Muay Thai, and Jiu-Jitsu. And I was like, okay, I don't know, whatever. But that stuck out to me. And then a couple days go by, and I'm like still looking at different programs, and I see that the defensive self-defense system that the Navy SEALs learn is a combination of Krav Maga, Jiu-Jitsu, and Muay Thai. And I'm like, oh. So that's why my soul had me wait. That's why my soul had me wait. There were other components that needed to be added in because for me, the way I exist, it's never enough to just do the basic. You need to do what your soul says you are capable of. So, whatever weaknesses or vulnerabilities that exist in one system can be addressed by the learning of the other system and the other system. It's like a trifecta, solid foundation from which to rise in a very protected, very powerful, very confident manner. It's amazing. If you let your soul do what it does, it will take you exactly where you need to be. Exactly where you need to be. And I was like, oh, but this other program, they have this, and this with tactical firearm incorporated into the training. And I kind of wanted that. And then this program that I was looking at for the kids, clicking all over the website and like, oh shit, y'all teach all of that too? Okay. And you're closer? What? What? Okay. I think I found the spot. Right? So it's this thing about your soul wants you to have minimal spaces of vulnerability where you have to be afraid of not being able to defend yourself and all of that. Your soul is aligning you with a path that is being prepared still. It's not in full existence yet. But as you're being aligned with that path, your soul is also bringing you the information that is necessary for you to be able to move with confidence through that path. It's crazy. It's crazy the way soul works. Choice, understanding consequences. For most of us, we don't realize that we have multiple options. And so we don't realize that we choose the consequence that makes us so unhappy and feel punished. In time and space, transcendence, achieving success. You need to be able to transcend the limitations that currently exist within your perception of yourself and your purpose. You will rise above that. Not only will you rise above that, you will be successful in what you are trying to achieve. Ooh, the self gathering your power. I'm telling you, your soul has got your back. The type of success the type of success that is being presented to you. Final card. Use your strength to help someone who is struggling, and I think that someone is you. Apply your strength to yourself at this point, okay? Allow yourself to recognize the ways in which you deserve the type of support you give to other people from yourself. I think for many of us, we pour into others hoping that they'll pour back into us. That's not fair. And you're like, I know it's not fair. No one ever pours back into me. What I mean is, it's not fair for you to do that without them asking you to, and then for you to expect them to do that for you when you're fully capable of pouring into yourself. So, distortions are being cleared away. Your connection, your cosmic connection with those who are not in alignment with who you are and what you need, because now you're a free spirit, right? It needs to be severed. It needs to be severed. And severing that connection does not mean you have to completely block them out of your life, unless that's how you function, where as long as they're in your life, you don't really have boundaries. So you'll allow them to overrun your boundaries. If that's how you are, then yes, they need to be completely removed. If you have strengthened your resolve in maintaining those boundaries, enforcing those boundaries, you don't have to cut people out. You can exist and let them like, hey, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to treat me like that. And because they know that your words match your energy, they know that if they want to continue to be around you, then they can't act that way. They cannot, right? So not only are you a free spirit, you're learning to believe in yourself, you're embracing your shadow self. And in the process of that, this attempt to prevent you from awakening, it's going to fail. Why? Because you said so. I used to hate that phrase, because I said so. I don't say that to my kids ever. Like, that's just, why say that to kids? Because I said so. Like, you don't have autonomy. You know what I'm saying? I will let you know, hey, I need your compliance because these are the things that we have to have finished by this specific time. And we move as a unit. So I'm going to need you to do your part. And you can do it upset, but you're going to do your part. Not because I said so, but because we move as a unit. We are a family unit. No family member left behind. No one's needs disregarded. But you are autonomous. Within that unit, you are yourself. And having this unconditional love for self, accepting yourself as you are, knowing you will consistently change and shift, moving closer and closer into the person you have always been, undoing all of these programs that have convinced you to exist as something outside of who you actually are. That is the path of soul in human form. It was never about becoming a better person. It was about realizing you are a good person, and all these things you believed about yourself were lies that need to be shed. So start shedding, start exfoliating. You see, you don't cut your skin off. You simply exfoliate it. Go get a spiritual loofah. Maybe I'll add that as a service. A spiritual loofah, okay? Exfoliate. Use some alpha hydroxy acids on your skin. Get that chemical exfoliation plus a manual exfoliation. Get all nice and soft. And that's not enough. Moisturize yourself, because in that exfoliation, you're exposing the newest, freshest layers of your skin, right? That needs to be cared for. You can't just continue to expose the newest parts of you to the environment, thinking that you don't deserve self-care. Yo, when I exfoliate myself, let me tell you, oh my God, baby skin who? Baby skin what? Do you know how soft I fucking am? And then it's moisturized too. Like, don't touch though. I didn't say you could. Just admire it from somewhere else, not here. You have to take care of yourself. It's not enough to scruff off all of that. You have to take care of the beauty you expose once you're done. Care for yourself. Allow that alignment and allow yourself to finally see how much you actually deserve. So guys, final reminder, I got to get to my session. Past life tea party tonight, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're on TikTok, go to my bio, click on the Hubi link in my bio, and it's a past life tea party at the top. Gotta go, guys. Love y'all. Bye, everybody. Okay.